The Klondike Gold Rush. The Klondike Gold Rush started in 1897. It started with a group of 4 people traveling through Rabbit Creek, a tributary of the Great Klondike River in Alaska. They stopped for a drink of water and saw flakes of gold floating down the creek. That's how it all started. Although, this was not the first gold found in Alaska. A Russian mining engineer on the Kenai Peninsula found the first gold in Alaska in 1849. In late 1897, newspapers spread the word that there was gold in Alaska. People quit their jobs and headed north to claim the supposed riches that lay there. The Klondike Gold Rush was a romantic as well as realistic time in Alaskan history. Transportation was a very important aspect of the Klondike Gold Rush. Obviously, without it, none of the miners would have ever been able to reach the gold itself. The easiest but most expensive route to the gold fields was by boat upstream through the Yukon River. The other route to the gold fields was cheap, but it was by land and very difficult to travel by. This trail was called the All-Canadian Route. The people who traveled by the All-Canadian Route traveled mostly by foot using pack animals or sleds to carry the supplies that had to last them at least a year. Once miners traveled many miles, they arrived at Chilkoot Pass Trail. This trail was very steep and dangerous. It rose 1,000 feet in 1/2 a mile. It was also nicknamed the Golden Staircase. It was 1,500 steps of pure hell for the miners. After the miners arrived at the top of Chilkoot, they arrived at the White Pass Trail. This was one of the hardest parts of the trail because it was very slippery and steep. After this trail, the miners arrived at Bennett Lake, where they took 500 miles of dangerous rapids down the Yukon River to Dawson City. In total, the Klondike Gold Rush, over $300 million of gold was discovered. Only 30,000 people actually made it to Dawson City. 4,000 people struck gold, and only a couple of hundred people actually became rich. The biggest gold nugget found in Alaska was 24.5 pounds in Ruby, Alaska. Out of these people that were so lucky, many of them didn't see a hint of gold the entire time they were there. The only thing that they went home with were stories of adventure, joy, and gloom. 63 of these unfortunate people died in April of 1898 from an avalanche on Chilkoot Pass. On the later part of the journey on the White Pass, over 3,000 pack animals died there, so this trail was nicknamed the Dead Horse Trail. The Klondike Gold Rush was a romantic as well as realistic time in Alaskan history. The Klondike Gold Rush is a big part of Alaska's representation for people around the world. The representation shows that the high mountains of Alaska are not forgiving, merciful, or happy. Although under the horror of the truth behind these hills, gold runs through the veins of those mountains, flowing through the land like water itself. Nothing can stop that flow, but the stories of those miners that traveled there make it thrive and flourish, because those stories from the miners in those mountains are worth as much as gold.